A lot of people, you know, I think associate Syndra with players like Showmaker. To me, it's always been a Knight champ.
Yeah.
This is one of the guys that I, you know, really respect playing the champion as far back as 2020. Trying to battle for that world championship, playing some of the most iconic champions for them. And Elk is going to spot them on this invade. But Breathe Tarzan, you know, that top side is screaming out Merc Treads, and Ben could be really difficult to deal with when he does get those early Merc Treads. But this is a full-on brawl. It's going to be a 10-player fight.
Yeah, Xiaohu has to dash back over the wall. Weibo still in the enemy jungle, but the big chicken is already going to be controlled. Light trying to get away, but the crash down comes out from On! And BLG's already got first blood! It's about to go from bad to worse as Breathe has to try to escape, and the bombs keep bouncing in. Nice sidestep to get away from the rock, but they aren't done yet. They force the flash out of Xiaohu. He's burning down to the Ignite, but he will not die to it just yet. No, the last Elise in World's main stage was 2019. The last at play-ins, just 2020. But now, a potential dive down here in the bottom lane could be turned around as Ben, On, and Elk want some damage of their own. They put some hurt onto the enemy jungler, but it's going to be On who's mostly in trouble. First kill goes over to On, taking out Breathe, but a 1-for-1 trade already as Tarzan has to continue trying to run away. Xiaohu rotates over, but BLG with less men, trade even.
Going to go against Ben. Especially, as I said, when he gets Merc Tread. Shun, though, looking for Xiaohu.
Yeah, Xiaohu slammed into the wall. Remember, he has no flash to try to get away. And Shun turns him into scorpion food with some help from Knight. BLG, 3 kills before 5 minutes.
It's going to be tough.
But this is what I talked about when BLG get this Ziggs. They move around so well. Gonna have to fight Weibo here, though.
Weibo coming up to challenge for the Grubs. BLG trying to get themselves away, flashing out of the range of the handshake. Weibo securing Grub #1 as Xiaohu's ready to join the fight. El taking a ton of damage. Calling coming over the wall as Xiaohu wants to dash after him. Last auto attack ain't gonna find the kill as now On's gonna try to get away and Breathe. Barely tries to kite it out. Shun needs a little bit more damage to try to take him down. And a lot of damage on Ben's gonna be the first kill as Breathe survives. Xiaohu kills Elk 2-0 for Weibo in the Grub battle. But the Grub fight turns it all around. They got that first Grub. The other 2 still alive in the river right now, and you're going to see Tarzan make very short work of those.
It's also the fact that if this game actually starts to extend into the later portion of the game, you're incredibly AP heavy on BLG, so getting things like Banshee's Veil is going to be crucial to finish him off. And it's just these small interactions from Tarzan that really set up a cascading effect in that fight for Weibo Gaming.
I mean, he played the fight very well, and you have to be able to be confident like that, to look for these aggressive moves on the Elise, to really try to stay ahead of the pace of the game. Very difficult, especially to play the fights out in the later stages of the game when someone gets tanked.
Aggressive Fates call from Light, throwing Crisp in. Nice handshake accuracy there on Elk. He wants to use the satchel to get away, but the spears are already inside his chest. Beautifully done in the bottom lane, but answered back in mid as Ben makes a rotation to knock down Xiaohu with the help of Knight.
The face call was a little lackluster, but saved by the handshake, and now Light going to be able to get a ton of damage onto this bot lane turret. But as you say, Ben at least getting that turnaround in the mid lane on.
Okay, On could be in some trouble here. Another nice handshake. Some spears in the rel means more damage even coming out, but the TP is available for Elk to try to reinforce his support if he needs to. Crash down for the extra shield, but it ain't gonna matter. Light on a killing spree on the Callista.
Ziggs have a good time.
They are putting a bullseye on his back. Elk will try to escape, but the lockdown of the Maokai, the damage of the Elise, it's an easy kill for Weibo and Breathe.
Just something like the Maokai, having access to the map, like this is Breathe really showing up here.
I think it's really cool. We are going to have a TP down. We'll see if they can pull off a dive.
Yep, Breathe's your target. Maokai can be tricky to dive, though, if you don't have the coordination in place. Twisted advance already. Try to get himself back into a good spot, but it won't work. Impale from Shun seals Breathe's fate. They put the money on Ben, and with 4 men here in the bottom lane, BLG are going to bulldoze this turret. But at the same time, Tarzan on the other side will secure all 6 Grubs for Weibo.
Yeah, they're going to get all the Grubs, and they already took down that first tower on the top side. It's a 1.8k gold lead here for the Callista. Ben going to collect some gold back on that bottom side, creates an advantage for himself. And it's really just going to be a tale of 2 lanes. Who can get more done with the advantages that their team have given them? There's still so much confidence in Ben that he can make it happen, especially on his signature Jax. It worked for us, you know, bringing out a Maokai top, bringing out an Elise. It's picks that make sense within the context of the game, within within what they want to get done in the game. And I just love to see that constant evolution of the meta, and I'm hopeful that it continues to work.
Yeah, I already talked about how the Elise at Worlds specifically is 5 years ago for main stage, but if you're looking at Maokai top in Tier 1 regions, this is the first time all year long that has actually been played in that role, and Breathe and Weibo are doing pretty good with it. Tier 2 turret gonna fall there in the bottom lane. It's a 1,500 gold lead for Weibo. It's a 2,000 personal gold lead for Light on this Kalista, and it's easy for now that second Drake of the game.
Actually make the moves towards these objectives. And normally, I don't think support gold is that big of a deal, but at this point in the game, when it results in an item completion, like the Locket is actually really big in some of these early skirmishes. So I agree with BLG. They have no business contesting this fight. And the question just becomes, you know, which side is going to scale better? Because BLG is very AP heavy.
Trusting that Knight can wave clear solo, especially when he gets towards the second items, and you start to stick Elk with Bin in a side lane. Because if you have a two-man threat, Breathe can't really step up to the wave, and then suddenly you can very quickly take away these towers, show how strong he can be, both last year and now at this tournament on things like the Ezreal as well.
Ooh, nice connect on the Ishtal impact coming out from Shun, immediately into the unleashed power. Knight and Shun together find the pick on Xiaohu.
Yeah, it's a big pick in the side lane. Let's see how much more BLG can get. He does stand out in a very stacked crowd.
You're also going up against Knight, who is the kingmaker in the LPL right now, and it's plays like this working with Shun that set BLG up for success on side. They get the tier 2 tower, they get more gold in towards this Syndra.
One pick, one poor setup, they get sold, they get permanent power for the rest of the game. So you have to have so much confidence that you can execute in that next one that you guaranteed will win that fourth fight and prevent the soul if you're not going to fight the third. Immediately on the wave, right? They're going to keep pushing out these waves. They're not going to allow Weibo to group in siege. It's always going to be cleared out. It's always going to be about buying time for Bin to make something happen in that side lane. And we can see Ez is very standard, working towards the Seekers as that third item. But we're going to need to see that Magic Pen come through for Knight and Elk very soon. They decide to not fight the third dragon for Weibo, so Weibo is on soul point now.
Down to half HP. TP's gonna come in from Ben. Weibo committed into the pit. Baron down to 3,000 HP. Engage comes in from all with a Magnet Storm. The Baron is secured by Tarzan, but now they gotta try to get away from BLG's collapse. Skarner's ulti finds one. Light to the rampage and Ben is down, but Light to the picture now too. Shun tries to escape, but he cannot survive. Tarzan barely getting away over the backside of the Baron pit as Breathe stands at a 1v3, but he stands not for long. It's BLG. They lost the Baron, but they're going to end up winning in kills. Breathe still getting away. You gotta be kidding me. He's still getting away. Galloway fails. Breathe finally falls. TP though. But a TP's coming in as it looks like Weibo might just look to mop him up. Xiaohu ready to go in, guns blazing. On, finds Shattering Strike into the skin of the week. Storm Surge execution from Elk.
I think if he flashes early and doesn't let the Rel actually get to him,
oh,
then there's
nice
an angle.
Slam from Shun, immediately following it up there with the Impale as On slams back through with the Magnet Storm, has to try to get away before Light's going to be saved by the bailout. They pick off the enemy AD carry, but BLG's going to be careful now. Bin versus Breathe off to the side. Low health bars on BLG's front line. On dies first. Shun barely stays alive. Breathe's about to drop it. It's a 2-for-1 for BLG. Max range scat of the week, and Knight makes his mark on the end of the fight.
It's BLG breathing a sigh of relief in this game.
Every time, On has had brilliant engages, and all of BLG has been there with the follow-up.
Oh, Shun and Knight taking a lot of damage here from this turret. Shun at death's door, barely gets out on that Skarner as the tier 2 falls in the mid lane. Breathe in the Drake pit. Infinitely tanky here on this Maokai. Happy to just absorb these blows for a little bit. The bouncing bombs again, connecting onto Crisp. The vulnerable enemy targets in the back line. Crisp down to 20% HP. Bin jumps over the wall here with a counter strike. Look at a lock up. Breathe, beat him down. He flashes over the wall, but On's got the kill with the Ignite. Hostile takeover, low value. Shun goes into the engage with the Impale, but he ain't gonna find the mark that he's looking for.
Nice.
On dies, Light out plays. He's taken out too. Weibo Weibo trying to continue the fight as Knight kills the enemy jungler. There's no junglers left. Light is struck down by Knight Syndra, and Crisp will be the last man to fall. And ace for BLG.
Light is snuffed by Knight. BLG win the fight, and they're going to take the game.
It's the full team teleport party over into the mid lane. 31 minutes back and forth. BLG with Elk and Bin ready to just demolish these turrets. Knight flawless on his Syndra. 7, 0, and 8 to take BLG to match point.
These were some of the best highlights from today's matchup at the semifinals of Worlds 2024. Which moment was your favorite? Let me know in the comment section below. This is OP, and I'll see you tomorrow. Take care.